What's going on, guys? It's Michael MGF, and today I'm going to be doing a very special analysis video because this time I've got the analysis video on the new lineup of sets that's being released in April for the Avengers Age of Ultron. Avengers 2 sets are finally happening, and we've got the first photos. They were just put out by the European version of the LEGO catalog, and I could not be more excited for multiple different reasons. I've been looking forward to these sets ever since the Avengers came out a couple years ago. It's kind of like the way I'm looking forward to what could happen with Avengers Infinity War sets now. That's how I felt back then, so to finally see this actually happening, it's surreal in a lot of ways for me, because this is the Avengers 2 is already happening, and we've got these 6 sets and pictures of them, and I could not be more excited, because not only am I looking forward to the sets themselves and the minifigures and the film, but as you guys know, you probably saw what I did with the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what I'm doing for a good select few minifigures included with these sets. I will be taking a bunch of minifigures out of these sets and upgrading them and making them even more accurate than they already are to make for one hell of a celebration video in late April of next year. And these sets show you what I will be starting with, and they've given me insight into what I will have to do to upgrade each minifigure. So now I am more than prepared for what's ahead of me in terms of Avengers Age of Ultron minifigures. So there's a lot to be excited about here. It's the Avengers 2. I think it's time to be happy. So without further ado, this is gonna be a long one, but let's get into it. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the Avengers Quinjet, and the Quinjet that is being used here is basically like the Avengers personalized Quinjet that they made their own upgrades to, their own modifications to make it like the Avengers badass mobile, essentially. And so it's really exciting to actually be getting a LEGO version of this that have already seen in the trailer, and not even mentioning the actual minifigures themselves, because with this set we've got the Iron Man Mark 43. This is the new Iron Man suit that he will be using in the film. We don't actually know how many Iron Man suits are in the film yet, but this is basically the primary one that Marvel has advertised to us so far. And while it's not exactly a revolutionary looking Iron Man suit, it's not like it's drastically different, it's still freaking cool to see it done in LEGO. So this is a great looking minifigure based on what we can see, and after having already seen the Hot Toys figure, which was just revealed recently, LEGO looks like they've done a really accurate job here, and not even mentioning the fact that the actual face masks now have additional printing. It's been with the Avengers sets and the Iron Man 3 sets where we were missing, there was a little bit of a lack of detail on the actual fold-up masks on the Iron Man helmets, but now we've got additional black printing on the upper half of the Iron Man helmets, not to mention that the eyes are actually being printed differently now. It's not the exact same shape as we've seen them previously with the Avengers and Iron Man 3 sets before these. So big changes to Iron Man minifigures. Maybe not necessarily big changes, but definitely some really awesome changes, to say the least. And yeah, so with this set, you'll notice we also do get the new version of Black Widow, and this Black Widow minifigure is actually really accurate, because you'll notice that not only does she not look like an old lady anymore, but she's got her own mold for a hairpiece. I've personally never seen that hairpiece before. I'm not actually sure if it might be like a friend's hairpiece or if it's going to be like in one, I don't know. But if it is an existing hairpiece, be sure to let me know down in the comments. But me personally, who only follows Star Wars sets and superhero sets, I have never seen that hairpiece before, so I'm going to say that is a new mold, and it looks great because it's a way better than having an inaccurate hairpiece like we did way back with the Avengers sets when she was given long hair, which was completely off. So that's really awesome to see, and not to mention she looks like, based on the very blurry sight that we've got going on here, the torso and leg printing also looks very nice as well and very detailed. So it looks like I won't have a lot to do here, maybe just painting the arms. We'll see. But also included with this set is we've got Captain America in his new suit, and obviously it's got the exact same printing defect that the Captain America had way back with the Avengers sets. It was, I forget the name of the actual $10 set he was in, but you'll notice with Captain America, he's got a very dark, facial color, and that's his skin tone is very dark, and that's a problem because when you're trying to print a flesh color onto a dark blue head, it just sometimes pad printers don't work with you, and I would assume that's what is the cause of this problem, just a printing error that they can't seem to get around. It seems like LEGO actually did try to work their way around this with the Hydra tank set that was released earlier this year, because we saw them actually try to print a lighter color on a normal blue head, but it just kind of looked more like a vampire than a normal skin tone. So it looks like LEGO has reverted back to what they already had with the Avengers sets a couple years ago, and now we've got a very, very dark skin tone Captain America again, which is inaccurate because obviously, you know, Chris Evans is about as white as you can get. So I don't mean for that to sound a little bit odd, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's just a printing defect that I wanted to go over there. And also the torso printing is really nice as well, because the torso printing is really accurate from the looks of it. We can kind of see it in the upcoming set that has Hulk and the Hydra base. You'll see that later on in this review, but based on this photo, we can't really see it. But the new bike that Captain America is on, I believe that's a new mold too. I'm not totally sure on that. It might have been in like the new Agent sets or something I might have missed out on, but once again, I only follow Star Wars and superheroes, so I wouldn't know myself. But it looks like a new mold with the Avengers symbol, either a sticker or printed on, and it looks super awesome. Not to mention the Vision, who is also included with this set. And the Vision, while the torso and leg printing and the face printing all look super accurate and super awesome, my only problem with the Vision is that the color is a little bit dark, and that's the opposite of what I was trying to say. The color is a little bit light, and that's my only problem with the Vision. Maybe I'll be corrected, but based on the picture that we have seen of the Vision, his suit is not a normal green. It's a dark green, if anything. So I don't know why LEGO would decide to go with a regular green here. But I mean, aside from the the problem with this, actual his suit color, the rest of the printing looks freaking awesome. Like, that looks like Paul Bettany's face printed on a freaking like purplish pink head. And so it's really exciting that we're actually getting a minifigure of the Vision done this well, aside from, once again, the problem with the color. But in this set, we also do get the Ultimate Ultron, and this is the Ultimate Ultron version that we have seen on the Entertainment Weekly cover of it was our first look at anything Avengers Age of Ultron related. So getting to see that as a minifigure is really awesome. Now, we don't actually know what order Ultron will be appearing in each version as, so it's like we've seen him in the Avengers Tower, which obviously will be his first form when he first shows up, but then we don't know when he's going to be using this form of armor, and we don't know when he's going to be using the Ultron Prime version, which I will be getting to later on. So it's kind of confusing as to when, as to what we're looking at here in terms of the Ultrons, but based on what we can see, it does look really accurate, and it does look really awesome, and I'm still deciding as to which Ultron I will be upgrading and painting myself. But as it looks, it just looks like a great new mold, and I definitely look forward to getting that as a minifigure in this set. But the Quinjet itself, we haven't really seen it that well yet. We saw a little bit of it in the trailer, but based on what we can see, it does look very detailed and very accurate here, obviously having a pretty decent amount of stickers. And also, you'll notice that there is a truck that Ultron is clearly clinging on to. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what scenario this is going to be in the film, but hopefully it might actually be a real scenario in the film, unlike, it probably won't. But even if it's not, this set is still awesome, and obviously with the Quinjet, you'll have an opening cockpit. We don't really have an idea of what the interior will be like. There are obviously some of the new blasters that were introduced this year, the blasters you pull back on the lever and they fire. Those are obviously on this set, because you'll notice that there is a stud randomly firing off of the Quinjet. So that's not nothing. That's obviously indicating that there is the new blasters on the Quinjet, but that's really all we can decipher from this set. And it looks awesome though, and I'm really glad that LEGO Group has made such a great improvement to Black Widow, and seeing the Vision for the first time is equally as exciting. And so really awesome set, and this is obviously going to be like the capital ship if you ask me, because you have the Quinjet and a good amount of the Avengers in this set. I don't know, they're all awesome. It's hard to pick, but let's move on. Now, there have been plenty of rumored names for these sets, but now that we see this, I don't actually know what is what anymore, so I'm not actually sure if this set is still called like Hulkbuster versus Scarlet Witch or whatever it was called originally with the rumors. But as it stands right now, this is just straight up called Hulkbuster, based off of this European catalog that we're looking at right now. And it looks freaking awesome. This is obviously my first time I'm getting to talk about the new Hulk, and the new Hulk is such a vast improvement over the original, because the original was honestly way more comic book-like than it was movie-like. So this time, though, we've got an entirely new mold, an entirely new printed face, an entirely new hairpiece, and it's just Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, and it's in olive green, which also makes it look a lot more like Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. So, I mean, this is just a much better movie version of the Hulk. The original Hulk was more like the comic book version, which is completely fine, but this is way more accurate, and that, and you know, like you guys know, I'm a huge accuracy buff, so that's exciting for me. We don't actually know if he has purple pants. Based on what we've seen in the trailer, he does not. Now, I'm not really saying that's inaccurate because we haven't actually seen the film yet. We don't actually know if he's going to be wearing the purple pants, but I mean, even if he's not, then once again, that's why I'm here. I will paint them tan. So, yeah, but that Hulk, man, the changes to the face and the hairpiece, and now that he's in olive green, way better. I mean, like, miles better. That is such a better version of the Hulk. I think I'm done talking about it, though. Moving on to Scarlet Witch, who is also included in this set. She looks awesome and super accurate to Elizabeth Olsen's appearance in the film, and it just looks great. The torso printing looks decent. She even has some light printing based on what we can see, and I would assume that the face is also going to be very, reminiscent to that of Elizabeth Olsen as well. So really no complaints there, other than the fact that why is her powers being portrayed as blue here? Because as we all know, Scarlet Witch's powers are always red, and even in the trailer that we've seen, they're red, or like orangey red. But I mean, why are they blue? I mean, what? I don't understand. Maybe it's something that happened in the film, or I mean, I have no idea. But I don't really understand why she's got blue pieces for her powers. It's just not what I would expect from the LEGO Group. Hopefully, that's actually in the film, and they're not just being completely odd and off. But I mean, regardless, it's a great minifigure aside from those two things. And then in this set, we've also got the version of Ultron, which they're considering Ultron Prime. And now this is the version of Ultron that we see at the very end of the Avengers Age of Ultron trailer. And so seeing it looking, it's just, I'm so excited because out of all these sets, what I was looking forward to most to find out was the Hulkbuster, the Ultron minifigure, and the Vision. I really wanted to know what those three would look like. So seeing Ultron, though, this version of Ultron, it's just super exciting because the torso printing looks great, the leg printing looks great, and what it looks like is we've got a minifigure head put into like a wraparound mold. Like, it's almost like instead of giving us like an entirely newly molded head, sort of like Ninja Turtles, for example, we've just got a minifig head put in like what looks like half of it. It's hard to describe, but you can see that that's clearly a minifig head shoved in the middle of a new mold. And I can't say I agree with that. I really need to see it in a little bit more up close because I'm not really sure how big a fan I am of that. But like I said, once I see it more up close, it might grow on me a bit better. But as it stands right now, I'm still a bit on the fence about our Ultron Prime here, because that is probably the one that I plan on painting. So we'll see. But in this set, obviously, we do get the freaking Hulkbuster. And where to start with this? I think it's probably going to be the one thing that you guys are going to complain the most about, because like Baby Groot, like Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, LEGO is clearly, once again, going for playability over accuracy and scale, and that's completely understandable. And at least unlike Groot, the Hulkbuster is the accurate colors and actually has some accurate elements to it. But that doesn't, for people like us, people like you guys who watch my videos, it doesn't excuse the fact that you have a lot of really, really noticeable ball joints, and also the fact that it's just too big. You look in the trailer, the Hulkbuster is only a little bit bigger than the Hulk himself. So the fact that we've got the Hulkbuster who is a little over double the size, yeah, it's a little bit of a problem, no doubt. But it's still, I guess, alright. It's just, it's a good attempt on LEGO Group's part, and obviously you can tell there are hinges on the front, so I think that clearly indicates that we will be able to put a minifigure inside. And not only that, but you look down on the bottom and it says that we will be getting an Iron Man minifigure included with this set as well. So there is an Iron Man minifigure inside that Hulkbuster. We don't know which because they did not specify down in the minifigure box, but there is an Iron Man suit inside. So that's pretty much the main things LEGO Group was thinking about: playability and articulation, making this thing articulated, being able to put an Iron Man inside just like we saw it in the trailer. But that obviously came with the price of scale, and that's a damn shame because I'm going to have to get something done about that. And it's just, I was really curious to see what the LEGO Group was going to do with the Hulkbuster, and while the printed dome on the top, I gotta say, is really nice, the rest is just not exactly my speed, so I'm gonna probably end up making my own version of the Hulkbuster. Not really sure exactly how I will do it yet, but I have two very definitive ideas as to how I will go about making my own version of the Hulkbuster, so we will see, but I can't really complain as much as I did about Groot, because this one is actually understandable in terms of, you know, the playability and everything. So also included with the set is we've got, it looks like a barrier, kind of. Now, I don't know if, like, maybe at some point the Hulkbuster actually, like, you know, I don't know if, like, they secure the Hulk down into a structure that he cannot escape from, but I don't know what the Hulk is standing in. It could be a barrier, it could be something that's holding him in place, don't know, but it looks awesome, whatever it may be. But the Hulkbuster obviously has tons of articulation in the arms, and also it has articulated fingers, just like Groot had, and all those things, but, I mean, what do you guys think of the Hulkbuster? I mean, it looks accurate, it's just too big. That's probably the only thing here, it's just the scale. I mean, other than that, if this thing was sized down, however that would have been possible, it probably would have been way better for people like us, but we'll see what I come up with. But as it stands right now, that's the LEGO Group's Hulkbuster, and what do you guys think of it? So, yeah, now let's go ahead and move on to the next set. Okay, so now we've got pretty much the mostly controversial set out of the way. We've got the Avengers Tower, and this is very similar in concept to the Malibu Mansion attack that we had last year with the Iron Man 3 sets, only because this is a play set. This is obviously way out of scale and beyond any accuracy, which is understandable. It's just very, you know, it's a playset. That's pretty much the gist of it. And as a result, you have a lot of playability features. You have guns that are mounted on the balcony of this thing. You've got Avengers symbol stickers all over this thing, and some opening hatch. It looks like an opening hatch on the very top, and you know, breakaway windows. We can see a little drone that can be deployed from the Avengers Tower. A lot of playability. This is a playset, and not supposed to be anything on the accurate side, which is fine. And but with minifigures in this set, we've got some pretty awesome ones, and once again, they did not specify which Iron Man is actually being included with this set. I mean, it looks very similar to when we're getting in the Iron Man versus Ultron set, which I will be going over very shortly. But I mean, it does look pretty good, and based on what we can tell, I'll get into it in just a minute, but the Iron Man versus Ultron set, the smallest set, has the Iron Man Mark 45. So in this set, we have what looks to be the same exact well, actually, no, it's really not, now that I'm looking at it. So I don't know what Iron Man suit this is, and LEGO does not specify. So we will see, but it looks pretty awesome for what it is. Obviously having the exact same printing modifications to the facial mask, newly printed torso, newly printed legs, looking forward to it, and it looks awesome. So not only that, but I'm also kind of curious what the Tony Stark heads will look like, because in all of these box art photos, his facial mask is closed on every single one, so I'm very curious as to what the LEGO Group printed for the new Tony Stark heads. Maybe they didn't print anything new at all, it might just be the same head. Hopefully they did print something new, because that's always exciting when we do get new Iron Man minifigures, or the new Tony Stark heads. Also included with the set, we've got two Iron Legion suits, and these are very different looking, because not only do they have white armor, but they've got red repulsors and dark blue helmets. I don't actually know what these are supposed to be. We haven't actually really definitively seen these in the trailer, but it almost kind of looks like Ultron was one of these at one point. He kind of looks similar, but I don't actually have anything to back that up with, but it does look pretty awesome having two Iron Legion suits in this set. I mean, the colors are very different. I'm not, you know, opposed to it. But we just haven't seen them yet, so it's very hard for me to comment on them. But based on some other photos we have seen of these sets that were leaked before these photos were leaked, the helmets that are being used for the Iron Legion are actually, the facial mask on them anyway, is actually a slightly different mold. It's not the exact same Iron Man facial mask that we have seen on the other Iron Man minifigures. I'm not sure if that is the same for the other Iron Man minifigures that we're getting in this lineup, but I do know the Iron Legion helmets are slightly different in terms of their mold. So we'll definitely looking forward to see what that's going to be about. And now what's really interesting is this might even be some potential spoiler territory, but I think you probably have already obviously seen it. One of those suits is holding Loki's scepter. Since it's like, I guess somehow the Loki scepter will get out of Baron von Strucker's hands and back to the Avengers Tower, no idea, but definitely looking forward to it. It looks awesome. Not exactly an accurate version of Loki's scepter by any means, so I might have to do something about that too. We will see, but in this set as well, we do get Thor, and I gotta say, I'm disappointed. I mean, I'm very glad that we did get a new mold for Black Widow. Her hairpiece, I mean, that she really needed it, but Thor, his hair isn't like that anymore. That's the hairstyle that he had in the first Thor film and in the first Avengers film, but in Thor the Dark World and in this film, it's a very different hairstyle that he's got going on, and it's not that hairstyle. So I'm opposed to that, and I'm not really fond of the fact that LEGO Group skipped out on that, because I was really hoping that we were going to get a new mold for Thor's hair, but it just didn't happen. I'm glad we did get one for Black Widow, but Thor did not exactly get the same treatment, and that's pretty disappointing. However, the new torso printing does look nice. We have the exact same Mjolnir that we've seen in the previous Thor's, the previous sets with Thor, so that's really nice. But not much to say other than that. He does have chrome arms now too, not the standard light gray ones we had with the first Avengers sets, but in this set we've also got the very first version of Ultron, and there's no specific name, I don't believe, for this version of Ultron, the very first one, but this is obviously the version of Ultron that we see in the beginning of the trailer, and it looks freaking awesome. Now obviously LEGO Group, they did not make a new mold for this one, which I was kind of expecting them to do, but instead they just printed all the details onto a minifigure head, and it's a very freaking detailed looking minifigure head. You look at that thing, and it's got what almost looks like wraparound printing, which the LEGO Group never does. So I'm not sure if that's actually the case, or if they just printed the front and printed the back, or it looks like a really freaking great head, despite it not being a new mold. And the torso and leg printing also looks super accurate and super awesome, so definitely looking forward to that. But the set itself, I've already pretty much gone over everything that's included with the set. You got some the new blasters mounted on the balcony, an opening hatch, which also has the new blasters mounted on that, on the very top, radio antennas. You have some Avengers stickers all over this thing, a drone, which obviously also has one of the new but one of the new blasters on the bottom of it, because you see a stud being fired. It's not actually on the bottom, it's on the top of it, being fired from it, and you've got some caution signs on the bottom, once I already mentioned the breakaway window, so it looks like it'll be a pretty freaking awesome playset with some pretty awesome new minifigures, so I'm definitely looking forward to this set as well. Okay, now I realized I was being a total moron with when I talked about the Hulkbuster set, because this is actually, the Hulkbuster set is actually called the Hulkbuster Rescue Mission, I should mention. I decided, hey, maybe I should actually try something called Google Translate, might be a good idea, but I figured that out a little bit too late, because I am unfortunately a Ross. And yeah, so with this next set, we've got the Hydra Fortress, and the Hydra Fortress is, while build-wise, it's not exactly anything too exciting. I mean, the actual tank, the Hydra tank looks pretty sweet, but I mean, the fortress itself is not exactly anything to get excited over, but on the top of it, you'll notice we've got a turret with the new blasters on top, as we're seeing throughout the entirety of these sets, and on the top of it, we've got Baron von Strucker, and I was not expecting to get him in these sets, but seeing him is really exciting, because I just really, like I said, wasn't expecting to see him make an appearance in any of these sets, and seeing him with Loki's scepter is that much more exciting. Spoiler alert, but still really excited to however this plays out in the film. And obviously Baron von Strucker is in like a sand blue suit now, and that's much different than what we saw in the Winter Soldier after credit scene, so we'll see what that's about and if that's accurate or not. I'm sure it is. But the face also looks really awesome in terms of printing and its accuracy, so it looks really awesome. Now in this set, we've got the exact same super freaking awesome Hulk minifigure, or big figure I should say, and we've also got the exact same Captain America, which also looks super awesome. We get a little bit, like I mentioned previously, now we've got a better look at the torso print, and the torso print, well, the star looks, I have to admit, the star looks really small on his chest, but other than that, it does look really accurate, and I definitely look forward to using that on my upgraded version of the minifigure. And in this set, we've also got Quicksilver, and this is the only set that Quicksilver is in, and I gotta say, it's I don't want to use the word underwhelming, but it's just kind of more so what I would expect from the LEGO Group. He's got a newly printed torso, obviously it'll have back printing, a pair of dark blue arms. This is the exact same suit that we saw in the set photos, so I guess the Quicksilver suit that not a lot of us really liked is going to be the final version, because, or maybe it won't be, it's just, this looks like this is the Quicksilver suit, and there is not an alternative version that they might have filmed, you know, indoors, so that's okay. That's something to do with the actual film, though. In this set, though, LEGO did print the actual character very accurately, and the face does look really awesome, and just like Aaron Taylor Johnson, based on what we can see, which is a very blurry image, but it does look, I mean, they don't typically screw up with the actors, or at least they haven't more recently, like for example Star-Lord, Gamora, they all looked really great, and so I assume that these will be no different, and that's why I'm commending them on faces that honestly I can barely even see. But the hairpiece is not what I would expect. I honestly expected them to use a Luke Skywalker hairpiece molded in white. I know that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm definitely going to be taking that hairpiece off and swapping it out with a white Luke Skywalker hairpiece because it's just generally more accurate looking than the one LEGO decided to go with here. But that's an easy fix if you're willing to paint one of those hairpieces by yourself. But yeah, so the actual Hydra tank itself obviously got some wheels going on, some really awesome stickers, a Hydra symbol on the front. I do believe we did see these in the teaser trailer. We saw them firing. We got the Hydra henchmen included with this set as well, and obviously these sets that have the Hydra henchmen are taking place in the snow. So you got them all in some snow jumpsuits, newly printed faces, newly printed torsos, and everything. They look awesome, but you'll get a better look at the torso in the set that has Thor and Hawkeye in it. But then we've got a actual gun on the top, which fires a really nice projectile. I love it when the LEGO group actually uses this piece because playability-wise, this piece is awesome. So seeing them use it on the top of this thing is really exciting. I'm looking forward to it, and everything that this set has to offer in terms of, I mean, I would say the two biggest things I'm looking forward to with this set, or at least the three I should say, Baron Von Strucker, Hulk, and Quicksilver, all of which are probably the number one reasons I'm looking forward to this set. Captain America obviously will get in the Avengers Quinjet, so yeah, awesome set, definitely pretty close to what I actually pictured. Next up, we've got the Avengers Duel with Hydra, and this set is actually really nice and obviously on the cheaper side, and in it we've got Thor, Hawkeye in his new outfit, and the same Hydra henchman that I was just talking about a minute ago, and you can also see we've got a better look at his torso in there as well. It's kind of hard to see still, but you can kind of get the gist that it's going to be a pretty nice looking torso, and most likely pretty accurate, but you'll notice we've got a Jeep that Hawkeye seems to be in, a black fortified Jeep with a turret on the top with some flick fire missiles. So flick fire missiles still have not truly died. They are still around, and they're on the top there using some trans green cones for the tips of them. And inside you can see it looks like we've got a available seating for both Thor and Hawkeye who take Thor's cape off. We've got an Avengers symbol on the hood. So I don't know if this is going to be an actual vehicle that they have stamped their logo on or not, that they're going to be chasing Hydra soldiers through the snow on. But if it's not in the film, I mean, who cares? Honestly, it's LEGO. It's not out of the ordinary for LEGO to make their own scenarios out of their sets, even though they're supposed to be based off the movies. The actual like little buggies that the Hydra soldier seems to be in, I would assume that's probably in the film. But you can see that it has the Hydra logo on the top, a couple of headlights, 4 wheels, obviously, and I mean, it looks like it has a turret on the top. Can't actually make it out. It looks like it's got the new blasters that we've been seeing obviously throughout all these sets on the top. So it does look like it does. It might have a turret. Just still a little bit hard to see. But that is what it looks like to me. And then you've also got Thor in this set as well, and Thor once again the exact same as we saw him in the Avengers Tower, not sporting a new hairpiece, but he is sporting a new torso and new chrome arms, and along with the same Mjolnir that we have seen previously. So there's really not a lot to say about this set. I do want to talk about Hawkeye because Hawkeye is finally getting a new outfit, but once again, what is going on with these sunglasses, and why are we getting this Hawkeye with sunglasses again? What kind of justifies this is that we actually get a pretty decent printed head from the looks of it that doesn't look retarded like the last one. But I mean, what I do like that LEGO did here is that they did give him the sleepy hair, which is a much welcomed update because his hair is nothing like the way we got it in the original Avengers set, and that was always a huge complaint of mine with the Hawkeye minifigure. But they did give him the sleepy hair, which is what I did a couple of years ago when I upgraded them back then with my lack of skills that I had at that time. Even I back then gave him the sleepy hair, so it's about time the LEGO group gave him at least a little bit more of an accurate hairpiece. So that's good to see. Obviously he's got the double-sided face, and you got an aggressive facial expression for the face that does have the goggles, and also we've got like I already mentioned, a face for Hawkeye that does not have the glasses. So both of which look awesome, and looking forward to it. The torso printing looks really accurate. This is obviously like the trench coat outfit that Hawkeye is wearing in the snow, and I think at one point we also saw him wearing it in another country. I forget where they were filming that scene, but he was wearing this outfit even outside the snow, so I don't actually, or away from the snow is probably what I should say. So I don't actually know the details about how he'll be wearing this, or how he'll be sporting this outfit in the film, but it is looking accurate on the LEGO group's part, and I'm looking looking forward to it, but I have a good amount of plans that I have in place for that, because I do not plan on keeping it looking this way. It's going to look much different by the time I'm done with it, but overall this set does look awesome, and LEGO Group did a pretty good job for one of their cheaper Avengers 2 sets. Alright, and here we are at our 6th and final set for the Avengers Age of Ultron lineup, and this is the Iron Man vs. Ultron set. This is the cheapest set, by the way, and this one is different, to say the least, because in it we get the Iron Man Mark 45 suit, which we have yet to see. We have yet to actually see it in, the official promo images or any clips from the film. And we've also got a sub-Ultron officer and a sub-Ultron soldier. 2 of those, and I don't know what the heck these things are. We haven't seen them in any promo images. We haven't seen them in the teaser trailer. They're probably, I'd say quite obviously, a creation of Ultron that he just flings at the Avengers at one point in the film. But I mean, I have no idea what these things are or what they're supposed to look like in the film. So I really can't say anything about them, to be completely honest, other than the fact that they've got a newly molded helmet, or one of them does, and it looks great. They look to be in either a dark bluish gray color or a gunmetal color as their primary, mold color. I don't honestly know. Like I said, there's not much for me to say about these, given that I don't know much about them. What's different is that they've got studs on their feet for the repulsors instead of the cylindrical bricks, so that's different. But I mean, like I said, I have nothing to say. I don't even know what that vehicle is. So it's obviously got some, the wings can bend. That looks like a thing. It's got the new blasters on the bottom of it, so they can fire. And obviously, they seem to have the new blasters as, the weapons that they're wielding. So I don't know what those are. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it, though, because they look pretty badass. The one on top there looks like freaking General Zod. But yeah, so the Mark 45, we also have yet to see. We don't know what the Mark 45 looks like. We don't know if this is accurate or not, but I would assume so. And the torso printing and the leg printing looks super awesome. Obviously, once again, having the same new modified printed face with the additional printing, the additional black printing and the additional, the redesigned eyes. So, I mean, there's not much else for me to say here. That's pretty much all I can really think about. It looks like a great set, and once we actually know what it is, I'm sure it'll be very popular, because you get Ultron and obviously a couple of his accomplices or a couple of his henchmen, whatever they are. I have no idea. But it looks badass, whatever it is. So I think that is where I'm going to end this analysis video, and we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. And thank you once again if you somehow managed to stick around all the way through. It's pretty interesting when I have to do these really, really lengthy analysis videos. But yeah, guys, so there you go. That was it. All 6 of the Avengers 2 sets. It is happening, and I cannot wait for what the Infinity War sets will look like in 2018. That's going to be amazing. So who knows, maybe I'll blink again and then we'll be right there and I'll be doing the analysis video on those. So we'll see, but let's go ahead and conclude this super long but super hyped analysis video. Alright guys, and there you go, the analysis video on the Avengers Age of Ultron sets. I just said that. Son of a bitch. I cannot believe that we are already at the point where I am looking at these set pictures for the Avengers 2 sets, and that the film itself is only 5 months away. It feels like just a few months ago that it was announced that Joss Whedon would be back to helm the second Avengers film. He mentioned at the Thor The Dark World premiere that he had a finished draft, and that Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were going to be in it, and it's like, what happened? How am I looking at the sets already? It's freaking insane. But if you enjoyed this analysis video, or maybe found it informative, or hell, if you even stuck around for the entire thing, be sure to let me know by dropping this video a like below, and or your opinion in the comments. Yeah, in the comments. But yeah, I mean, if there's a lot to discuss with these sets, I mean, you got like the Hulkbuster, which is obviously very controversial because it's way too big, but it has a lot of playability elements. So I don't know what your guys' opinions are going to be on that, but in my own opinion, it's just way too big, which is why I'm going to have my own version made, and so we'll see how that pans out. But I mean, overall, I cannot wait for this lineup of sets. It really makes me think, what is the Thanos Big Fig going to look like? What is the Doctor Strange minifigure and Black Panther and all those going to look like? I cannot wait for what will eventually be Civil War sets in 2016 after this. It's a lot of exciting stuff to think about what might actually come after these amazing sets, because LEGO Group has done a pretty substantial job here. And yeah, you can also follow me on the Twitter, the Facebooks, and now the Instagrams, because I finally started using my Instagram account after like a year of just letting it sit there. And I don't know why it took me this long. I mentioned in my previous two videos that I am using my Instagram account now, so I've been posting all kinds of behind the scenes photos and updates and preview photos of upcoming minifigures that I'm working on, such as upgraded minifigures that I will be doing for this, which I'll be posting over on there pretty soon, the progress and everything. So I'm pretty much, everything you've been seeing on Twitter and Facebook is now going to be available on my Instagram as well, if it's more convenient for you. So yeah, guys, I did not talk about the the actual prices of these sets, because once I actually, I actually checked what the prices were. Yeah, like I actually, I checked to see the US dollar equivalent of the prices. Yeah, those are not going to be they're not going to be this expensive over here in the US. It's just not going to happen, because I'm pretty much fully aware that you guys over in Europe have some pretty brutal and god-awful markups on your sets over there. So unfortunately, it looks like the prices that we are seeing in this European version of the LEGO catalog are those prices and not the actual prices that we over here in the United States will be getting. So I don't exactly... I guess I'm sorry for those of you who are going to have to pay those markups over in Europe, because holy crap, I just looked at the Quinjet set and that's going to be $100. Like, you poor people. That is awful. But I mean, hopefully I am not wrong, but if I am, God forbid, these sets are going to be incredibly expensive, and that's really not the case. It's just, if it is a possibility, that would suck. But I mean, other than that though, guys, that is it for my analysis video on the Avengers 2 set, and I'm so glad that this is finally happening, and I cannot wait to get started on my upgraded versions of the select minifigures out of these sets. I'm not going to be upgrading all of them, of course, but I will be upgrading a pretty decent amount, and I'm definitely looking forward to all of that, and it's going to be a pretty insane 5 months worth of painting and customizing. So other than that though, guys, that is it for this video, and I will catch you later. Alright, bye! And today I am doing the analysis video on the lineup for damn it. Because this is basically the personalized version of the Avengers... Wait, what am I saying? And then we've also got a sub-Ultron officer and a sub-Ultron soldier. What the hell is those? What the hell is those? Wow, I can grammar. And there you go. That was the analysis video on the